So I was wondering what it felt like for you to switch from a conventional car to a Tesla, and what it felt like for me, and I can't get this concept out of my head, is when I was younger, everybody in our neighborhood was getting Ataris, and that was like the big thing. And me and my brother, we were just kids, and we wanted one so bad, and we thought our dad was going to get us one, but then he came home with this Commodore VIC-20, which was like the precursor to the Commodore 64. And these things are ancient, and so he comes home with this Commodore VIC-20 and a book full of code that has games in it, like a cheap version of Space Invaders, or a low quality version of Centipede, things like that. And he said, here, you want to play games? Write your own games. These computers are going to be the thing of the future. And so anyway, me and my brother, we started writing our own games, doing our own stuff there. I would read off everything, he would type it all in, and then we would get it done, and then there would be some error in it, and we would have to go back through and find the stupid little error that a comma in the wrong place, things like that. It's basically like a machine code type stuff. And so we would go through, make our own games, and they weren't really any good, and it was really just black and white stuff, but it was better than nothing. But we couldn't wait to go to our friends' houses and play on the Atari, because they had Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, all Duck Hunt. I mean, come on, it was Duck Hunt, man, and that was great. And we loved doing those games on Atari, and it was just the best thing ever. And I would spend the night at my friends and play Pac-Man until I couldn't move my hand, and it was a blast. And so then as I got older and everything, my sons grew up, and I bought them different gaming systems. I really had no desire to play games at that point. And my sons are older now, they have their own families, and they kept talking about this PS5, and it's like, oh, Dad, you got to try this PS5, and these games are great, and you would love this game called Red Dead 2, and Red Dead Redemption, and it's a cowboy game. They explained it all to me, and I was like, you'd love it. And so anyway, some friends of mine got me PS5 and Red Dead Redemption, and I started playing it, and man, I loved it. It was amazing. The graphics were amazing. The game itself was amazing. The role play in the game, I just never played anything like that in my life. I'm used to Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and really poor quality Centipede, or Tetris or something, and that was what I grew up on. And anyway, so I can't get that concept out of my mind, switching from a conventional car to a Tesla is so much like if you just made the leap from Atari to PS5, as a kid in the same year. If you're like an 8-year-old kid, you're playing Atari, and then all of a sudden somebody comes by and plugs in this PS5 with all these really cool games, and you're just gonna go, wow, this is unbelievable, and the step up, the level up is unbelievable for me, from a conventional gas car to a Tesla. And I did make a list of some things, and reasons why, and everybody kind of knows most of these anyway. I'm just going to kind of list them off anyway, but there is just so many features, it's just kind of hard to put into words, and I'm still learning everything about this car. I really, even people are putting in the comments things that I don't know how to do, so I'm learning from people posting stuff in the comments, or something I'm doing wrong, or there's a faster way or a better way to do something. So it's all really helpful. But for me, it just feels like jumping from Atari to PS5. And it really is amazing. But I listed like 10 things here that kind of make it feel like that upgrade, or I listed 10 reasons why the upgrade is so drastic, and you could probably come up with better ones, but this is just what I have. But obviously the no gas stations ever, you basically just, if you're charging at home, you just wake up and you got a full tank, basically. That's the idea. And man, that's just life-changing, honestly. It's really kind of hard to put into words until you start doing it. Number 2, instant torque. You really don't have any shifting or jerking of the car or anything like that. There's no, you gotta, shift gears and it's like boom, and then you feel it, it's just boom, it's smooth. And people who have never driven a Tesla, they just don't understand how wonderful that is. Single pedal driving is great. It's one of the best things ever. At first I wanted to use the brake, when I first got the car, but now I'm getting so used to it. It's like, I'm just so glad I don't have to touch a brake anymore. And number 4, the software updates. It's so cool to get a software update, and you get it on your phone, like your car's already parked in the garage charging, and it's like, do you want to do the update? And it's like, yeah, just do the update. And yeah, the updates have quirks. I know it's not perfect, but man, it's so fantastic to get an update on your car that you don't have to go to the dealer and pay money and do all that like I had to do with previous vehicles I had. The no oil changes, man, that's a lifesaver. You don't have to go and get the oil changes, sit there in the lobby and wait, or schedule it, and then, you didn't do it at the right time, so now you got to drive in and get it. And, it takes an hour and a half to 2 hours out of your day, or, a Saturday or something. It just stinks with the oil changes. Very minimal moving parts, which is fantastic. You're not going to be just going out working on this thing all the time. The cabin noise is really quiet. I know there's a lot of road noise, especially when I'm making these videos. It does pick up road noise, but quite honestly, it really is a quiet car. I think the microphone just sort of amplifies it sometimes, but it really is a very quiet vehicle. The screen and how simplistic it is, and all the little menus in there, it really is easy to learn. There is a lot of stuff in the menus to learn, but you don't really have to learn all that. That's what's so nice about it. To operate the car and have fun at it, you really don't have to know all that stuff. And a lot of it's just extras, like the toy box is extra. There's a lot of things like that, and it's not necessarily needed, but very interesting. The app control from your phone is fantastic. It really is amazing how that works, and just being able to run a lot of things from your car through your phone. And then FSD. FSD really is amazing, that just having the car take you places. It's got its quirks, it's got its problems, I understand, but it's getting so good, and it really is amazing to have FSD on your car. And FSD really is what makes this feel like you're switching from Atari, for me, to a PS5, because it's almost like you're just jumping into a totally different era of driving. It really is that big of a level up. All these different things that change the way that you interact with your car, the interface, the app, everything is really dialed into this perfect little setup they've worked so hard to create. I am still learning about these cars. I haven't even really mastered. I'm not an expert on Tesla. I haven't mastered this thing yet. I'm still learning. So maybe you have a better analogy than I do about how making this change from a conventional gas car to a Tesla would be for you. But for me, it really did feel like stepping up a gaming system from Atari to PS5, you know, almost from like an analog setup to super digital, you know, high definition, you know, gaming system. And I'm not really a gamer. I'm really not very good at it. But you know, I love learning new things with technology and using technology for fun. And maybe, you know, this is more of a guy angle, but, you know, as far as cars go. But yeah, it really is an amazing car. And I do have a lot of fun with it every day. And put down in the comments below, if you would please, maybe your analogy of how it feels for you. And maybe you've got some better points than I have on it. But thank you for watching.